Hi everyone, welcome back. You know what, today I'm so excited. I'll be talking about proof of fund. Yeah. So in what ways can we actually show our proof of fund to come study in Canada? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about today. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please don't miss out. You have to just go and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Share with your loved ones as well. So if this is your first time, thank you so much. I really do appreciate. But again, to encourage me to support me, please don't just scroll by or just don't just listen and then go away. Please and please subscribe to my channel. And for my returning subscribers, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Keep sharing. You never can tell, someone might just find the video very useful, right? So like I said, today I'm talking about proof of funds. In what ways can you show the visa officer your proof of fund, like and for you to get an approval, right? Because that's one of the major challenge that we that international students do have. Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I'll be talking about proof of funds, okay? And if this is your first time of coming onto my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. You're at the right place. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, share with your loved ones and family as well, okay? For my returning subscribers, what can I do without you guys? You guys are the bomb. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, do not forget to also share with your loved ones, okay? Let's grow. Let's get, let's just grow. I promise to keep, bringing more information your way. Okay, so guys, support me. I need that support. I want to grow. Okay, so like I said, I'll be talking about the different ways you can actually present your funds for your study in Canada, like as an international student, how you can, present your proof of funds to the visa officer and the acceptable proof of funds that the Canadian government actually recognize, okay? So yeah, that's what I'll be talking about today. Who's excited? Hey guys? Me, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. So let's get started without wasting much of the time, okay? Just before we start, I think my last video, I spoke about the decisions you need to make, either applying as a single applicant or as a family, right? And I said funds is a major criteria, like in determining that factor. Okay, so but today, because I really want to talk about how you can get that fund, how you can present it to the visa officer, so I'm just going to quickly go through what is required, right? So one, before you even come in, we've assumed that you already have your LOA and all those stuff, right? And what are we presenting now? What fund are we presenting? So let's just quickly wrap it again. So we have minimum, tuition, we said 15,000 Canadian dollars for a 1-year program, right? And also your living expense, we said that you need to have at least 10,000 Canadian dollars. Yeah. So in all, you are looking at 25,000 Canadian dollars, right, for 1 year. Okay. So how are you able to show this to a visa officer? This is for 1 year for a single applicant. Okay. So let me just quickly say it again. If you are coming as a family, if you're applying as a family, like your spouse and your spouses and kids, of course the fee will be different. So let's say a family of 3, for instance, the principal applicant will be having 25,000, right, Canadian dollars for 1 year. And now because the spouse is joining, right, you're going to add 4,000 living expense, and then for the child, because they're a family of 3, right, for the child you're going to be adding another 3,000, right? So now we have 7,000. Is that correct? So I already have 25,000 for the principal applicant, so 7,000 plus 25,000. Okay, So now we have that's my math sucks. That's 32,000. For a year for a family of three, right? So for a single person, we're just saying 25,000. But how are we supposed to show this proof of funds? So I think I have a list here, and I'm just going to go through it briefly with you, and you guys can decide which one would work for you best. Okay, so the first one on my list is actually GIC. I think I mentioned it too in my last post, and GIC is called a Guaranteed Investment Certificate. To be honest with you, I recommend this to everyone out there. Like, if you're an international student, you're coming here, I would say try and open a GIC account here in Canada. You have nothing to lose, to be honest with you, because it even shows that you are more serious, taking more serious, because they feel, oh, this person actually opened an account, so that means the person is really, really financially stable and wants to come and study here. So what do is basically digital, online. Like, some banks do it, most banks, not all, but I don't know, but most banks do it in Canada. So all you just do is just to search, the bank that does. I can't mention banks because I don't know, they didn't send me a message, so I can't really do that. But I can tell you that most banks in Canada do this, and majorly for international students. So you just do it online, and like I said, you have to do it yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you, because that's why it's online. It's easily accessible. Submit an application online, do a wire transfer. So minimum I think you can do is actually 10,000 Canadian dollars, because that is normal living cost for the principal applicant, right? And the maximum for most banks is $25,000. And now when you put in there, it's actually generating a fixed interest for you. So why won't you even want to put it there if you have that money? And then they're going to give you like some form of receipt that you actually have an account here pending. When you submit your application, you can actually include that in your application. So I strongly recommend GIC account opening to all international students, and then once you come in, they would be giving you that money on a monthly basis, like I said. So that's the first one on my list. The second on my list is student loan. Okay, there's some countries, I don't know, it depends on the country, you have to check, that actually give students loan to those that want to come study here. Of course, you have a student loan. It's expected that when you get back home, you'll be able to return the money, or I don't know, maybe your family will be able to find a way to keep paying that money while you're schooling here. I don't know, but I mean, if you're able to access a student loan, that's good. And once you access a student loan from a bank, of course they want to give you a letter showing that you actually have a loan with them. So include that letter with your application, and that's gonna clear your tuition or your living expense, depends on whatever loan you are getting from the bank. Just include that letter that the bank gave you with your application, and you are good to go. So that's the second one on my list. The third one on my list is your bank draft, your money draft, traveler's check, the regular check, anything that will just depict that you have that money and it's payable in your name, right? So you could also include that as a form of POF for yourself, proof of fund for yourself. So that will go a long way, because at least it's coming from the bank and they say that it's open and everything's just for you to deposit in your account and stuff like that. So you can use that. So the fourth on my list that I have here is for those of you that won't be sponsoring yourself, that will be requiring a sponsor. Okay, so you can actually use any form of sponsor. Maybe it could be related to you, it could be a guardian, it could be your parent. Nothing stops you. The most important thing is for you to be able to get a detailed letter and make sure it's notarized, and relate how that person is related to you. Do like a family tree or some sort of relationship explanation as to why that person is sponsoring you. Okay, please note that if you are using a sponsor, that sponsor also is required to submit the source of fund, where the fund is coming from. It has to be traceable. I'm not saying that the government will be checking the person's bank, but I mean, there's a way and they go about it. They will have to want to verify to see if that fund is traceable and to see if it's genuine, right? And you want to make sure that the person gives you some form of letter as well, or some form of official bank statement, right, to support your application, and also a letter stating why he is sponsoring you. Okay, what's his interest? To be honest with you, what is it? Yeah, so anybody can sponsor you. It can be your family member, your parents, it can be your guardian, it can be your mentor. Something has, just make sure you have a backup letter, to that effect, and you're good to go. 51 on my list is having an official receipt from the school, like for your tuition. Like, let's say you've paid your tuition fee, of course, official receipt from the school. And if also you have paid your you've opened the GIC, of course you have that, receipt to show for that. You can also use that as your POA if you really don't need anything. Again, if you have really paid, you've opened a GIC account and you've also paid your tuition fee, so what else do you need? You really don't need anything. Those are the things you need. Just put it in there, but just make sure you put the other vital document. Go back to my YouTube page and see important documents you need. I think I spoke about that. I also touched based on it my last video. The sixth one that I have here is the official bank statement. Okay, everybody's supposed to submit that, right? And so yeah, official bank statement. Sometimes it's good to also get a reference letter from the bank. Usually me, I recommend just do everything you need to do. So usually, just make sure you get everything from the bank, your bank statement, your official bank statement. It will show the average, the debit, the credit, the balance on your account. Make sure that you get that from the bank, and also try and get a reference letter. So nothing's too much, when it comes to immigration. So yeah, so that is it for that one. And the next one, which is the seventh one, I guess I've said on my list, is for those coming for scholarship. Okay, maybe you got a scholarship, and they are the one paying partial or full tuition for you, or maybe even your living expense. I don't know, it depends on the scholarship you get. Make sure you get the scholarship letter. Make sure you get a letter from the organization or the school or whatever, wherever you're getting that scholarship from. Make sure they give you a letter, like a genuine detailed letter whereby you can actually include with your application, and it has to be stated there that they will be covering either partial or full tuition or living expense or whatever it is agreement that you guys have. Make sure it's listed there, and then you are good to go. Okay, so if it's partial, make sure that you also have your backup, your own bank statement and stuff like that to bridge the gap. So if they are not doing full scholarship for you, make sure you are able to present the other part of the money. The last one that I have here is called stuff like cashable investments, right? I'm talking about maybe you have bonds, treasury bills, and the likes, right? Like, and they're easily cashable. Like, I mean, when I say cashable, I mean it's something you can easily transfer to cash, and should in case you need it. But usually they will give you a certificate from your bank for stuff like this. You could also include it, but don't just use only these. Just make sure you have your bank statement. There are some other there's like a reasonable amount of fund in your bank statement. Then you can now include your bonds, your treasury bill certificate. And whenever you are calculating the amounts that you need both for your tuition and your living expense, don't use the black market, right? Because Canadian government will use the exchange rates, the value on that, I think on that day, the one from the internet anyways. Doesn't make any sense to use black market, because they don't use black market. They only use the one what they see online, right? On that day they are processing your application. Really, the difference is really not always so much. So usually, because I mean, processing the application takes between 0 to 6 months. Of course, COVID has affected so many things, so things might be a bit different right now. But again, if you put everything together, everything is intact, I think you are still good to go within that period. So for the duration of time that your application will be in with the visa officers, please make sure that the funds are also there. Okay, because anything can happen. In fact, up until when you are going to be landing in Canada, if your visa has been approved. Because even when you get to Canada, the border patrol, at the entrance, they could request for the POF. Don't think because you are not a PR, you are not coming to land, they can't ask you. They can ask you. They can decide to ask you. So make sure that there's funds in your account, so that it's printed, everything is intact. You are ready to go. And some officers can even decide to even ask you for maybe they are processing your visa and they say, okay, give us a recent bank statement. So make sure that the money is there. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to print the account and then boom, that's it. No, if you are very unlucky, they may ask you to present it again, So basically, what do they check? They want to see if there's transaction in the last 6 months, last 4 months. So make sure that your money is there. So I think those are the only, those are the things I think you need to know and to know. So these are the types of proof of fund acceptable in Canada for you to show with your application. And if you're able to present one or two of these together, if the fund is not there, why not? Again, before I go, I'm just going to also talk briefly about those that are married and want maybe their spouse to come first, or they want to come together. Both of you can actually use your joint statement of account or even your individual account. The most important thing is that make sure each of you is able to access that account. So let's say, for instance, your husband and wife, and the wife is coming and then the husband is supporting, right? And so you want to submit an application. The funds could either be in your spouse account, like your husband's account. It doesn't really matter, right? So far it's accessible to you, okay? And especially if it's your spouse that is sponsoring you, make sure that the money can actually be in his account. Nothing stops it from being in his account, and it could also be in your own account. Just make sure you back it up, because if you are not the person sponsoring yourself, you have to be able to tell them how the money got into your account, okay? So if the person is sponsoring you, just make sure that the money is in the person's account. Better that way, it saves you a whole lot of stress, right? And so guys, that is it for today, okay? I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and I hope you're able to learn one or two things. And if you did, guys, support your girl. Guys, please support me, subscribe, like, share with your loved ones. Let us go. This is 2022. I really want to grow, and I also want to keep bringing more information your way. Thank you, guys, and that is what I have for you guys today. So let the dream begin. Don't give up. Don't give up. Canada is a very beautiful place to be. Trust me, guys, it is. Come join me. I'm enjoying it. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and again, like, share, and subscribe. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but yeah, we just have to keep saying it, So thank you guys. Until next week. Bye for now.